Hi, it's Jessie from Peachmanifesto, and welcome to another Luxio collection. This is the latest collection they have out called Avant Garde, and it's all supposed to be like colors based in fashion. First up, we have Swank, and I just like to remind you guys to shake your bottles. This is how I shake mine. I give them a real good pound. The pigments in Luxio, like, they're so pigmented and you do need to give them a good shake. I've heard people say that they have had problems with their Luxio. I say give them a really good shake and they'll be fine. So this color here is super unique. It's one of those colors where you're like, is it a yellow? Is it a green? Is it a chartreuse? Right? Very unique. I don't have anything like it, and a little bit of fuzz there, sorry. I am going to show you swatch and comparison, so stay tuned to the end. Next up, we have Suave, which is kind of like a dusky pale blue, and this is a one coat. Like, without even trying, it was just a wonderful one coat. I didn't even bother putting a second coat on it at all. Next up, we have Stigma. I was really kind of worried that this was going to be another red from Luxio, but it is not. It is a coral. My camera's having a little trouble picking up its true color. It is definitely a little bit more pink in person. I feel like my camera has a little trouble with like orangey tones, but it is a little bit more pink in person. You'll definitely get to see that next to the swatching comparisons. So like I said, stay tuned for that. Really nice coverage on this, and beautiful color. I love it. I definitely like to have a bunch of corals because everybody has a different version. Now we have Incite, which I would call a semi-sheer pearl, and it is kind of like a peachy nude. This definitely ended up in my nudes. I've already used it on a client and it performed wonderfully. So with one coat, it went on really nicely. Actually, a little bit more fuller coverage than I thought it was going to be. Like, you can see my other nail through there a little bit, but definitely not as sheer as I thought it was going to be. And definitely two coats, full opacity. This is going to be kind of a staple in my collection for sure. Next up, we have Restrain. I was a little worried that this was going to be really close to one of my favorite colors, Bossy, which is like not only favorite with me, it's a fan favorite. My clients love Bossy, but it definitely is not exactly the same, you'll see. And yeah, it went on really nice. I definitely could have got this in one coat, but I feel like I was a little sloppy applying it near the top of the swatch stick. So I just went in with another really thin coat, and it filled in that little shadowing excellently. Now we have Movement. This one, my camera struggled with this one. I would definitely call it more of like a neon peach. And my camera kind of flares it a lot. You kind of see it, like the color almost like washes right out in some instances. Cameras do have a hard time with neons and super bright colors, but this one I'm really impressed with. I did not expect this color, but I am so happy with it. It is really a stunner of kind of a neon pinky peach color. I'll definitely show you it against some other neons, and as you can see, my camera just kind of flashes and flares it out a little bit. I feel like this picture is super deceiving. These colors look a certain way until I can show you some comparisons. We are going to start up with Swank and kind of show you how it looks next to these yellows. I feel like it looks a little deceiving right now, but once we can get you a little bit closer, I really wanted to compare it to Dauntless because that was like that mustard color that everybody was wanting. Once you get it up to Dauntless, you see that they really vibe well together. They're kind of in that same tone. But Swank is obviously different. It's darker, has like that kind of touch of green to it. And yeah, and this actually, like when I'm comparing it next to the golds, it really goes super well with the golds. I know golds can be kind of more of a neutral, but she vibes well with them. So yeah, and then next up I am going to compare it with the greens, just to kind of show you that it didn't really fit in well with the greens. I did end up putting this on my yellow swatch stick because I just didn't feel like it fit in with the greens as well as I thought it would. But if you take a look at it next to Incognito, those two, that's going to be a pairing. I definitely have to pair these two together because I love the way they look together. They definitely are kind of in that same tone, and I think they would look amazing together in a manicure. Next up, we have Suave. Now, I do have a color that's pretty similar, which is the Options Truly Blue. Suave is definitely darker than Truly Blue, but and like duskier. It's also like a one coat, where I find Truly Blue is not a one coat. You definitely have to build that one up. I only have the sample of the Truly Blue, so I think when I run out of that one, I'm just gonna take the swatch stick out and just use Suave because they are fairly close. Yeah, like nothing else really compares, but I thought I would kind of put it next to some other really popular blues in the Luxio family, some ones that have recently come out, and just to kind of give you a comparison if you have any of these other colors. As you can see, pretty unique, and I always enjoy when I get a unique color. And then this one I was so excited to show you against the reds, just so you can see it is definitely not a red. Even putting it next to like the Gel Play red, Stigma looks more pink, which was what I was really trying to show you. And then I really wanted to kind of put it next to some more orangier reds, just to kind of give you a little bit of a comparison there. And yeah, just you can really see the pinky tone come out. And then I thought I would put it next to my other corals, and yeah, Hypnotic Coral is definitely much more pink, and these other ones tend to lead a little bit more orange in there. So I thought the one that it might be the most comparable to is Smolder, and it is pretty similar. It's just much more pink than Smolder, which I love. This definitely found a place in my corals, so I'm really glad that I have it. And I thought, let's check out it next to some more of the oranges, and as you can tell, it is just more of like a pinker coral, and it doesn't really compare to anything else. Then we have Incite. Now, I did find a really good comparison in my collection to Incite, which I was surprised. I didn't think I was going to, but it is almost identical to Demure. I'd say it's a little bit lighter than Demure, and it also has a pearl where Demure doesn't. But Demure is also a semi-sheer as well. But yeah, very, very similar. I thought it was going to be really similar to Flirt, but it is not. Flirt is a little bit more nude, and it has more of like a chunkier texture to it. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it has like instead of a pearl, it has a different look to it. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it definitely is gonna hang out in my nudes and nudie pink wheel. And then we have Restrain. I really, really wanted to compare it to Bossy, because I thought that was what it was going to be closest to. And as you can see, it is just much more pink. Bossy is more of like a nude pink, where I feel like Restrain is just much more pink than Bossy. But they're very nice together. In person, they're even more different. Bossy's like lighter and more nude, and Restrain is just brighter and more pink. Then we have Movement, which is kind of, like I said, more of a neon peach. I thought I'd show you next to Cheeky, which is a really nice kind of pinky coral almost. And yeah, really not finding any comparisons on this end. And then these are kind of more the neons, and it's not a neon pink, it's like a neon peach, like I was trying to describe it as. But these are, yeah, more of the neon colors, and yeah, not comparable. I don't have anything like it at all, so I'm really excited to have this in my collection. I thought I would kind of put it next to some of the corals, just to show that it doesn't really fit in the corals either. It's a little bit too pink for that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you all later. Bye bye.